Howdy, welcome to episode 9 of the Kilima Post with your host, Kay Fiercine.
And Shinori Yoru, where we're going to be going over patch 0.194, the Botanical Bliss update.
So, how have you been enjoying this patch, Shinori?
I've been mostly grinding, I would say. Um, because with me, I'm done with my bundles within that week, so hooray. But other than that, the last part is messing with me because it's all RNG on getting the last 3 name tags. So I'm feeling the struggle right now.
Right, because
Uh,
as you just mentioned, they did release the new flower event in Kilima, so we now have an
right.
event. We now have a daily event in every zone now,
Of course, of
and
course.
I really like it. I feel like it's a nice, different kind of event, and it's lots of fun. So
I didn't know where the locations was at the very beginning, and I randomly just stumbled upon it without even just walking in a random direction. And it was at B6 was my first one, and I'm like, oh, I found one, guys. I'm like, okay.
I remember, like, as soon because, like, because we know they had some patch issues on getting the patch up and going, and so it was like I was streaming that day, and we were getting towards the end of stream, and finally the patch came up. So I was like, "Oh my god, let's go!" And so, like, all of us, we were all on the same Kilima server. Like me and my whole stream, we were like running around trying
That's
to find the
cool.
locations because none of us
Yeah,
knew
yeah,
the
yeah.
locations yet.
Exactly.
What's your opinion on the whole event as a whole?
Whole event as a whole, I didn't understand that you had to pick it up everything at first. So it took me like the next round to figure out. Oh wait, you got to pick up everything to get all the recipes and all that. And they're like, yeah. Oh, okay. So I had to do that, and then I would say it's a lot of fun events, but I'm pretty sure that everyone's figured out by now that once you finish one server, you can just immediately go hop to another one if you have a friend on a different server. So it's a lot of fun in my opinion, but it's also very grindy because you are getting the stuff that you need. Not the flowers, but the name tags on the recipes that are just introduced.
Well, I mean,
How,
I like that, because for those of y'all who don't know what we're talking about, there is a new Kilima event that came up where at noon a bunch of sprouts come in that are covered in weeds, and you got to run to the spot. You got to water all the flowers. You got to pick all the
yeah,
weeds, and then you get to loot everything. And within
yeah,
looting that, you get special flower name tags and special flower pots to plant flowers in,
right.
and the event runs from noon to 4. Now, I personally feel like it should only run from like noon to 2. I feel like noon to 4 is too long of a time because, as you were mentioning, everybody
Oh,
literally, like, you go do the event, then you hop to another server, then you run over there, clean out that
yeah,
event, then hop to
yeah,
another server,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't feel like that is very fun gameplay. I don't like server hopping like that. I mean,
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
look, it's a part of the game. I understand. I'm not saying it's like exploiting or cheating or anything.
It's
But
not.
I
It's not.
but
But
I
yeah.
do feel it's a bit too much, and
I guess.
I
Yeah.
feel like if it was like a 2-hour long event from like noon to 2, then you're able to still hop over at least one or two times, but you're not over
Right.
here hopping to 4 or 5 different servers. That's when I feel like things are getting a bit ridiculous,
Right.
but other than that, like, I really enjoy the grindiness of it. I like the fact that it's taken a long, because I haven't still gotten a single nameplate from it. I think I've gotten all
Yeah.
the
That's the thing. Right.
planters, but I don't
Right.
think I've earned a single nameplate from any of the
Which is
events.
the difficult part right now for me because I've gotten two. I'm missing the last one.
But I don't
Uh,
but I don't mind it because it gives me a reason to keep coming back and doing it.
of course,
Because once you get,
of course.
the new seasonal bundles done, it's like, oh, what else is there a reason to go do it? And it's all because it's like, well, it's like going to like a public grove in Bahari. I have no reason to go. I have no reason to chop those flow trees, so I don't even go to them anymore. I only do
Oh, which
the
is fair.
I only do the Pixie Bloom event because I needed elderwood flowers for the bundles. Other than that,
Right,
I
right, right,
probably wouldn't be
right,
going
right.
back to doing it. So the fact that there are
Exactly.
nameplates to casually earn, and maybe they will put in more color combinations down the road so you can earn even more down the road, I wouldn't mind
Right.
that. But I do think it's a fun event that allows people to keep coming back for more to get
Of course.
everything.
Yeah, but especially with how was the update was first starting when this all happened, it was very, very laggy and very buggy. We tried doing the Pixie Bounce the very first thing, and we were just immediately just got server connection loss, and trying to get back in took about like 5 to 10 minutes to get back in. That was not the greatest, but it knows that there are still bugs in the game, and we are still trying to play with everyone that is currently in the game as well. And but I would say that for a month event, it's not bad to be honest with you. I know it's difficult for those who can't play Palia every day or don't have enough time to, but it is an event where you actually have to like keep playing and then getting the flowers that you need for the bundle because you're not going to get it all in one day. It's almost impossible to if you if you didn't know what is in the bundles, then of course it's going to be impossible. But if you got oversight or over got a bit of a look beforehand on what the bundles were beforehand, then yeah, of course you could prepare it like before that was actually released. Then, but in this case, it's going to be a bit difficult because with the cotton bean flower that was introduced with this patch, you actually have to go grind that as well. But of course, everything else you can get prepared if you did craft and past or made it with food as well. So I think for what it's for what's worth, it is it's not like you play 3 or 4 hours and then you're just immediately done. That that's it. But with the other quests, for this quest, it's a lot more exciting, I would say, considering it's not a puzzle room like we did with the prison beard, but I think it's more about okay, I just need to go collect stuff, which is
Right.
fine, right? I'm not totally hating on that, right? So, but it does keep the game a bit more exciting on that as well.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and since you did bring it up,
Hmm.
that's the one thing they did introduce is the bulletin board, which we were
Right.
debating on how they were going to use it. And
Hmm.
so from what it seems like, now I know they were saying, because it says with, basically there's the bulletin board in downtown Kilima will now be updated. I believe they said every patch. And basically what it is mini bundles. They're just smaller, like I would say smaller, but they're actually probably more intense than the actual bundles that you collect in the Night Sky Temple.
Right.
And you get a little quest, then you get to go collect all of these items, and then you get a little finish up quest. And I think it's a nice way for them to introduce um new quests into the game. I do kind of like the quests this time around. And
Right.
I was originally thinking the bulletin board was going to be like daily quests, but I'm not. I mean, but and you were right in that aspect because it is a monthly quest. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
at least that's what they said. Because they were basically saying on the patch notes that it gives players activities complete with limited time seasonal availability every
Right.
patch. And they said every patch, so I assume every month we're going to be
Every
getting
month.
new
Right.
bundles to complete, which, I know like all of the hoarders in my stream, they were literally done day one, you know.
What?
And
What?
yeah, I know. Like legitimately one girl, she'd been giving out elderwood flowers to everybody because she already had all of them. Now
What?
I
That's
know.
insane. What?
But I will say I like the fact because there's one section that you have to donate 4 different kinds of flowers, and you got to
Right.
donate so many of each flower. And
Right.
at first, I was making the huge mistake of 2 of those flowers, one of them being the new purple cotton ball ones.
Yeah, cotton
Cause
bean, right?
yeah, cause everybody what they've been doing is once they get the flower, they've been just instantly as soon as the new flower event's over, they've been running to the board and donating it. And what
Right.
I have been doing this month, and it's really helped me out, is I'm actually using those seeds to grow flowers till they get because those actually give me more seeds.
It does. It does.
And so then I plant the more seeds and then I donate the fully grown flowers.
Yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
all you need is like a good couple of seeds from the event and you're good
Right.
just to grow up the rest of the flowers. So,
Yeah.
and and then there's a section where it's like food, there was a section of
Food, right?
green things, and then there was a section for furniture. I like the fact that they
Furniture, word.
included furniture in this. It gives me
Right.
more of a reason to craft furniture and I actually really like this bundle thing. I think it actually kept me more
Yeah.
involved in the game this month. I'm doing
Right.
more things than I normally do, and I actually like it.
No, I do really do like it, especially with you don't know what to expect at first, and then you are grinding on getting the materials, especially when you're a new player. It might be a bit difficult, but it's still doable. Especially with how things are in the game. So people are willing to help you, give you like flow planks or like pollen bars. But there easier way is just another is just getting pollen bars from Elderwood and then mining it and then going back to Bahari and doing the flow grove and then cutting down the trees and uh, then going to back home, making them planks, and then just giving them, just crafting those furniture, or you can just buy them, but which is a slight chance, but it is still possible.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. And so far, like we get a little piece of the story after you complete those four bundles. I'm not sure if you want me to spoil that
We'll
or
not
should I talk
spoil
about
it because I
it? Okay.
actually have a couple of flowers left to donate before my bundles are
Okay.
done.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Sure.
because I didn't realize at first, oh, you can just donate fully grown flowers. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I've been literally like down on the beach, like catching those dragonflies to get the purple flower, one of the purple flowers I needed to donate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And now I found out all I have to do is just grow them. So now I'm just growing a couple of flowers to finish that off.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. You can find this dragonfly near Einar's Pier, and
hmm
just use honey lure and just get those the tail flower
oh,
is also
I've just
yeah.
been going. I've been going to the beach behind the family farm and
Oh, okay, okay.
on the other side of Kilima.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because all on that broken beach, there are always so many dragonflies up there. No honey lure
Really?
needed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're all up and down that beach. So that's where I went to get my initial seeds. And
Right.
but and circling back real quick on the
What?
flower event, I will say I love the fact that Singularity 6 gave us a daytime event
Yeah, yeah.
because
No, 100%.
it's like so many times it's like you got at 10 p.m. you've got the Pixie Bounce in Elderwoods, and at
Right.
midnight you got the Flow Grove, as
Right.
well as Maji Market goes on at nighttime, and the Underground's only at nighttime. And I feel like everything in this game is events at nighttime based, so it's
Right.
good to see a daytime event. Good to see
Yeah.
something I can do during the day.
Not gonna wait till night. Nah, it's all good. Nah, yeah, especially with Hot
You
Pot
know
as well. Also during the night. Yeah,
exactly.
everything's during the night, right?
And so
So
that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give credit where credit's due.
yeah, yeah.
They gave us a daytime event. I've been
Mm-hmm.
asking for a daytime event, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they did it. And I like the
Yeah,
fact that there is now like just a daily event that happens in every zone. I just think that's nice and I
yeah.
think that's cool.
Now for the next map, where we're gonna do there is the question.
I don't know. Is it? And that's the thing.
uh,
Like, is it everything? And all of these events seem to be foraging related, because you now got
well, that's
you
true. Yeah, no, that is true. Yeah,
you're either
yeah,
like picking flowers or you're either like cutting down trees.
right.
So it definitely seems all of these events are very much so foraging based. So I wouldn't mind a different skill getting
Of
like
course.
a little event, like maybe have
Oh.
maybe have like a
What?
little like bug catching event or something in the next zone, or and a lot of it depends on what the next zone is,
Right. I
depends.
mean, I assume there's going to be a legendary bug sooner or later. We don't know when, but I'm assuming maybe there would be an event for that, but who knows? Because like with the real to butterfly, it does spawn naturally. Maybe something that's like a really unique bug that
Hmm.
that can't really like be spawned could be in this event. Who knows? They could make something like that as well, right? So we
Right.
have no idea. But I would love, love, love if they could do something with fishing.
I know
But who knows?
we're definitely a fisherman podcast
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
We definitely love the fishing skill, so I'm
Yeah,
definitely
go on.
super excited to see what next month's bundles are going to be, and it definitely
Mhm.
encourages me to start being a hoarder. So
Of course, of course,
I guess moving on a little bit,
of course, of
they
course.
did introduce some login rewards, which I know, like when we were going over all the skills and I mentioned how I wanted a
Yeah.
cake plushie, you made fun of me for it. And here we got cupcake plushies.
Cupcake though.
Okay, so if they could give me a cute little cupcake plushie, they could give me a celebration cake plushie. Or make the cupcake plushie look like like kind of like have like the color scheme of a
Yeah,
celebration cake and
yeah,
have a
yeah,
chance
yeah.
to earn it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they sent these out for the 2 year anniversary of Palia being, a playable game,
Right, right.
even though we're still in beta, so it's not like 2 years of release.
Yeah,
When it comes to this type of is it in beta, is it not in beta type of thing, it's really, kind of a gray line nowadays with gaming.
right.
But
It is. It is.
they've been going for 2 years, so they gave us some cute login rewards. And for those who don't know, you can actually interact with these plushies and turn the candle flames on and off, which I think is really cute.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like you don't really see much of interaction when it comes to plushies in general. So I really love that they added that in.
I was going to say, I just in general want more interactive furniture. It seems like so much of the furniture you can't interact with. It's like I've got a couple of chests that I'll open up and close. I like the fact that I can turn the candles
Right.
on and off. I just want more furniture like that. Give me more interactable furniture like that, and I'll be happy.
Especially yeah. And another because there's only I would say there's only a few that you can interact with. As or moves being that you can recolor them, so that kind of is a bit of interaction.
Right.
Um, and then the plushie with the pool, you can turn on the water off and on. Um, but other than that, I don't think you can. There's much anymore that we can actually interact with.
Well,
Oh
and
no, the fun guy with the bouncy
right.
head.
Well, and I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
even just talking about plushies. I'm just talking about just
yeah.
decorations in general.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much, it's like I get a little instrument I put in my house, and in like Animal Crossing, you go up to it and you just spam the A button. You'll play your little town tune, you
right,
know?
right, right.
But
Okay,
it's like my
okay.
instrument in Palia, I click on it, won't let me play nothing, you know? It just, I just want more furniture that I can, do stuff with. And so I like the fact that the candles were at least interactable.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh no, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And I'm so glad they brought back the purple glasses for the drops
oh my God,
because
yes.
I thought that was gonna be unlimited, like a limited time thing, but no, they brought it back for the players that haven't played the game or ever done drops before, and that makes me wonder: are they going to bring back the green glasses and also the Palcac rugs? I'm
Well,
not sure. I mean, and you really think about it, like they were planning on it, but I didn't get any. I'm not sure you got any for the rugs or not.
I
For
actually do. I actually got both because they did have the
yeah,
rugs and then they brought the rugs back a second time.
right, right.
So I got both. I got two sets of the rugs as well as I got the green glasses, but the black glasses were a drop before I started playing.
Right.
So I'm glad that I now have the black glass,
Purple.
the black Palcat glasses. But
Is it
purple,
black? Wait,
are they
purple?
black? Are they purple? I think their name of them's black, even though they look purple. But either way, they're the Palcat glasses that
Yeah,
you
there
can
we go.
get. So
Yeah,
you know that
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
but I'm glad that they're bringing them back, and I don't mind things being a limited quantity. We'll get into this discussion here a little bit further into the
Of course,
podcast
of
when we
course.
get to this subject because I got a lot to say on it. But I like the fact that things are basically like temporary limited quality. It's like
Right.
you might only have, like last year during the Insectapalooza, everybody got a leafy flutterfucks.
Yes.
Whatever. Anyway, they brought
Yes.
it back again this year, but only for everybody who participated in, or logged on during that event. So it's still a
Yeah.
very rare plushie to get, but it's not
Right.
a one time only thing. I feel
Right.
like,
Right.
like going into like Fortnite, there are so many skins that if you don't get it that one time, you're never going to get another chance to get it again. And I hear a lot of complaints about that.
Right.
So I like the idea of like having rarer things that are temporarily offered, but I wouldn't mind them being offered every once in a while, almost make it
Right.
like
Right.
limited scarce, yeah, everybody's going to be able to get it this month, but those who didn't participate this month ain't going to get it, and then they're stuck waiting for the next time it may become available. Doesn't make it any less rare in my book. It
No,
just
no,
makes it
no, no.
more acceptable, so, more, so that not everybody has that FOMO. I think temperate thought that was
Of
the
course.
term I was looking for. The fear of missing out.
Of course. Of
I
course.
definitely like the idea of temporary FOMO over permanent FOMO.
Right.
And I feel like
Especially, especially with there's a lot of things always happen in the game. Even if you take like a 2 or 3 minute, like month off of break from Paleo, I feel like you're gonna miss so much though. Like, and it's just way too overwhelming to actually keep up with everything that's happening in the game. And then your friends are bragging about it as well. Like, oh my god, did you get this? Did you get that? Did you figure out this? And I'm sitting there being like, I only took a 2 or 3 month break. What's happening?
right,
Yeah. So I deeply understand that.
but then
Yeah.
moving on to the rest of the plushies, we also got float fish plushies, which I called last podcast. I said that was their hint, that what they were going to give us, and looks like
Yeah.
my stream was correct.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I am kind of shocked that we got fishing plushies so soon after the other fishing
Other one,
plushies.
yeah, right.
But
I'm,
I'm
I'm
only
surprised.
go
I'm
ahead.
surprised no bug plushies for the Elder Woods, which is not being hunted at all. They're just being completely ignored. I'm like, why?
You get frog plushies, and that's it. Like I
Yeah,
was,
yeah. I mean, the cave ones, as
you know,
yeah,
because
yeah,
basically we got two new animals in the Elder Woods, and they got plushies almost instantly because hunting
yeah.
plushies are out almost instantly, if not
Right,
instantly. But
right.
then the bugs and the fish are kind of just casually. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised we didn't get another another bug plushie. I figured they would alternate fishing plushies in this patch, bug plushies in the next
Right,
plushie release patch. But no, because I mean, because it's still on the subject, even though we're kind of jumping subjects here. With the Insectapalooza ended, everybody
right.
got to do their voting, and
Of course.
literally, like I was super upset that my blood beetle was not one of the choices to be voted on, and
That's all good.
and
It's all good.
and the fact that the top two being voted on at the time that I was actually watching it was the
Yeah,
fairy mantis
yeah.
and the vampire crab, and they're
Right.
both Bahari bugs.
They are.
Like
Yes.
like
Where's my
we've
cave
got
pixies?
exactly, like we've
Where's
got we got three plushies in the Elder Woods we can farm bug wise, which are only
yeah,
frogs, and then we
yeah.
have one bug plushie in Kilima, which is the beetle. And that's it. Like every other
Oh,
bug
that's true. Yeah.
plushie is in Bahari,
Right.
and then the fact that they were like, oh, which ones do you want to vote on? And everybody's voting for more Bahari bugs. And I'm like, come on, give me a bug and another, like the
This
fairy
is a
mantis.
location. Right.
Fairy Mantis plushie will go right along with the rainbow butterfly farm, no doubt about
Right.
it.
Right.
You
Right.
know, but at the same time, it's like I would like to farm in other places for bug plushies other than Bahari. You know, but that's just me being a little biased. I my plushies I wanted wasn't on the list that I would have voted for.
True. True.
So I ended up voting for the vampire crab because it was at least different enough. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as I
Right.
said, I don't really care too much about the fairy mantis plush. I know that's what everybody wants, but for me, it's basically
Uh,
you're gonna be
I
doing
wanted a I wanted a Dustwing, to be honest with you.
right. Duskwing would have been a good one,
Yeah.
or that one, but the one moth that spawns in Kilima at night.
Oh, the Veil Gossamer.
Yes, Vel
Yeah.
Gossamer. I would have loved one of them, you know. Give me some
Yeah.
like nighttime lures. But I feel like if we do
Mhm.
get the fairy mantis, you're literally going to
Yeah.
be basically doing
On
butterfly.
Bahari.
You're going to be
Yeah.
doing rainbow butterfly farming, and you'll just happen to get, you know,
A
the
Fairy
fairy
Mantis
mantis
as
while you're
well. Right.
doing it, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So as I said, I'm a little biased there, but
Yeah. I mean, if you did the Calm Blue Butterfly, it would have been in Kilma and Bahari if there was a chance of getting them both.
right,
Um, but I wish they would do what do you call the Golden Glory Bee if they ever have a chance, and Kilma if you ever get a chance for that. It's a bit
right,
difficult to get, but it is possible. You just need to
absolutely.
chop down every tree, which I'm not sure how Haas will feel about that. But anyways, we need a splash.
But you know, going on back to the float fish, I do have one minor complaint about the float fish plushies.
Go on.
We got 3 float fish plushies, but there are in
Yeah.
fact 4 float fish. Why couldn't have we gotten 4 float fish plushies? I mean, it's
Maybe the last one's gonna be released sometime soon. You never
like
know.
oh well, I will say I wish the toadstool plushie was a bit more neon green because the
Right.
color does look a lot like the midnight float fish.
Yeah, I
And
got confused of both. I'm like, what? Yeah,
exactly.
the color kind of threw
Exactly.
me off. Yeah.
And then if they threw in because the other float fish that's available is the rare Maji of War fish, which is
Ooh, I like that.
which is a technically a float fish, but it's also like a
Yeah.
dark royal blue. So would kind of
Right.
get mixed up with the midnight float fish. So I feel like if they would have made the toadstool float fish a bit more lime green, and then we could
Yeah.
have had
Yeah.
a light blue and a royal blue for the midnight floatfish and the Maji of War, and I would have been much happier, you know. So, I
Ooh.
mean, as I said, I just thought it was odd that we weren't getting all 4. We were just getting 3 of the 4. I was just like, it's literally base for the most part. I mean, they do have a couple
Yeah.
of different designs on the top,
They
you
do.
know.
They do.
They
They do.
they
Yeah.
are they are all separate models. I do know like the pink one definitely has different tentacles down. So it would
Of
have
course.
them so it wouldn't be just like, oh, another color swap. But I just feel like it's just a bit, you know, I wish we would have had all 4 instead of 3. But I'm still happy we got fish and
Yeah.
plushies. I just yet again wish that it would have been a freshwater fish we would have got in the Elder Woods for fish plushies because we're already fishing in the water for
Yeah, we're
sharks and
fishing
moths.
for the moths already there. Now
You
we're getting
know, so now
more
we're getting
plushies for it. It's like what?
exactly. So like we
Yeah.
already got two fins and 2 sharks to get there, which I also noticed in this patch they renamed to the Maw
The
plushie.
moths,
It is
right?
no longer
Yeah.
an Elder Shark plush. It is now a
Oh,
Maw plushie, which I like. It's less
I
confusion for
like a
some of these
lot better,
people.
100%.
So that is something I'm really glad that they did and released. So,
No, 1%, 1%.
but
Especially with the majority of war. We'll see if they will like do an event for that plushie. But of course, I think they may be holding it as a surprise because it's more rare than the other 3. So we'll see.
right.
We'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
I mean, we say that, but to be honest, it's not like the Maw plushie is that much rarer than the
It's
regular
not.
river shark plush.
It's not. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
so like,
Uh,
and that's another thing. Like, I hate the fact that we just pull in a plushie while fishing. I
Yeah.
like I like what they did with the shark fins, where you get a
Right.
chance at getting a shark fin plushie when you catch a
Mm-hmm.
shark. It's like
Mm.
when you catch a lanternfly, you have a chance to get a lanternfly plush. I
Right.
wish fishing plushies worked that way.
Right.
And, and who knows, they might eventually make that change if I petition it hard enough. But I really want it to work that way because I don't know
Yeah.
if you know it, but I know some of our listeners might not know this. But if you actually fish with no bait, you
Yeah.
get a higher chance at plushies.
Yes.
And I feel like that is very counterintuitive. I feel like
It is. It
I
is.
feel
I'll
like
say it
you're
is.
you're giving people more rewards for doing less work.
Yeah.
Like let me try to catch the fish that gives the plushie because then I'll be
Right.
using all the different baits to catch all the different float fish so that I can have
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not only that though, it would reward me for using glowworms more often. But unless you
Especially that. Yeah.
but unless you're actually fishing so you can have enough moths to have legendary fishing cooking parties, like
Right.
there's no reason to use glowworms once you catch all the fish for the achievement. So
Right.
I feel
Right.
like with the way fishing plushies currently are is counterintuitive for the game and is almost like anti-rewarding to me. But as I
No,
said,
I can agree with that because especially with like when like I've never really heard anyone like actually using worms anymore. Once they get the glowworms, you don't really hear like, oh, like I need this. Yeah, you need worms for that. It's like, oh, okay, I'll get the worms.
and that's
And
another
then
thing. You either
yeah,
use no bait or you use glowworms. The only time you
yeah,
use worms is if you're going after a particular kind of fish, which,
right,
I also would like the ability to give people a reason to use regular worms. You give us these three
right,
different levels of fishing to catch a different kinds of fish. Might as well make it more rewarding for using the different types of,
exactly. Yeah, yeah, 100%. No,
you
I agree
know,
with that. I agree with that. Yeah, yeah.
so, as I said, that's my only big complaint about fishing plushies right now is I just wish I could
No, I
catch
agree with
them
that
with the
100%.
fish. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Especially with all the fishing though. We are hanging out in one area though, but I wish they would more utilize the fresh water.
oh my
Yeah.
god,
So
give me
if they do the majority of war, we'll be all in the caves and like all in the freshwater areas rather than being all out in the
well,
docks just
right.
fishing.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, give me one of those mermaid fish as a plushie. I will fish
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
freshwater for one of those ugly fish plushies because the fish, in my opinion, is kind of ugly. But I know the plushie would be so ugly that it's cute, if you
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean. So I'm
Yeah, yeah.
definitely like, I wanted a mermaid fish plushie. Like, give me that. Give me a reason to fish in the freshwater and the Elder Woods, or give me a reason to like fish in Bahari. Like, I have no reason to fish in Bahari except for if I'm occasionally doing pond fishing, but
Yeah.
I don't really pond fish anymore
Yeah,
because
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I pond fish all the time back in the day because I was
Yeah.
collecting goldfish for cooking parties. And now
Right,
that we
right.
have a more valuable fish, I'm like, oh, bye, pond. I don't want to play with you anymore. I've moved on
Exactly.
to Elderwood saltwater,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I definitely like, I wouldn't mind like a zebra unicorn or a zebra unicorn, like the long nosed unicorn fish. I think that would be a cute plushie, or any of the ones
Yeah.
in the ocean.
Hmm.
You
I'm
know,
just curious, like, what fish would you want in Bahari though? So I
well,
see the long nose, but yeah, but
I love I love the bluefin tunas and the yellow striped tunas. I think the fish
mm,
design is always really cute, and I
yeah,
think I think having almost like I know it's a weird way to describe it, but it's kind of like the shape of like a body pillow, but it'd be
does
like,
it? Wait,
well, no, I'm saying like if I had a plushie of the tunas, I would want
okay,
them to be like a longer, because you know how body pillows, they're rectangle, except for normally they go up and down. But
yeah,
this
yeah,
would
yeah,
go
yeah,
this
yeah,
would go like
yeah.
side to side. So like I put it on the couch and it would take up like two of the three spots on the couch, and it'd be like a longer sideways fish. I think that would be really cool. And
My
I
question
guess,
is, would it be comfortable to sleep with if you're going to bed with it?
well, I mean, we can't really lay down in the beds in Palea because the beds are not
I
interactable
know,
furniture. So,
I know, but I'm saying just like realistically, like if we had one on like in IRL, if and we were to like to have that within our beds and then sleep with it, like hug it or whatever, how would that look like?
I don't know, but I just think it would look really good if I laid it across the top of my bed or laid it on the couch. It would basically be kind of like the catfish plushie, how it's a more longer one, but because all the other fishing plushies you get out of the ponds are much smaller and shorter. So,
All right.
that's what I'm just saying. I feel like I wouldn't mind tunas to be a plushie to get out of the water. I know the Bahari Breamer, it's a cute little pink fish, would be a
Right,
really
right, it
cute
is. It
little
is.
pink
Yep.
plushie, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then of course, I've been dying for any of the rays. Like I would love for them kind
I
of
would
like
love
I
rays.
would love ray fishing plushies. Like I would fish them out of the vampire rays, out of the caves, or the three rays you can get in the Bahari River. I mean, literally almost every body of water in Kilima and Bahari will give some form of a ray. So if they release like a whole ray plushie line,
Oh
I would be able to fish in
man.
all of them.
I think the hardest ray out of all of them is basically the storm ray, in my opinion. But
Oh,
that's totally up to you.
100%. And I do know we skipped over it earlier, but I do want to kind of circle
Yeah,
back to the flower event
go ahead, go ahead.
because I love the fact that they gave us pots to planter pots to plant flowers in, and the fact that you can
Yeah,
plant like 5 flowers in there and you can basically combine them into a nice,
combine them. Yeah, yeah.
cool bush.
Right, right.
And I love the fact that we got boxes and terracotta pots and wall pots and urns. Like they gave us a whole
Yeah,
bunch of different kinds,
of
as
course.
as well as new
As
flowers.
two wall pots as well.
Yes, I know. I
Yeah,
love them. And then
yeah,
and
yeah.
then and then my favorite thing, the coastal bush is a huge bush, mind you. But I
It is a
love
huge bush.
But I love the cypress tree. It is so tall and it's such a great bush decoration. Like
It is. It
it's
is.
it's basically I basically on a lot of my plots I kept half grown pine trees because like when the pine trees got to like their second growth cycle, they were kind of about that shape and they kind of filled the role I wanted them to do. But now these new cypress trees like fills that role in so wonderfully.
So yeah, in so
So
many ways.
I did want to circle back and say I am glad we got pots to plant flowers in, and I love the new
Hmm.
flowers, and I love the new cypress tree, and the coastal bush is huge.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But especially with what do you call? You're getting this alongside with the bushes as well, which is you can get the blue, I believe the orange, I think the or was it orange or red, but yellow as well. All these new bushes as well with it. It looks really really nice. I believe you could plant like a lot. You could possibly make a hide and go seek if you were to turn off the helping area at the very top and just like go hide and go seek with that if you really wanted to around the plot. So I'm it might be a little fun with that if you want to make it like a maze or like a little area where you can just like have like a little fort type of thing. So it might be nice.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then I guess moving on to the next bit of sad news, in my opinion, King Hoppington is going bye bye. Do you have any
I
opinions
didn't.
on that?
I didn't really care about him. He was
Oh my
taking over
god.
my spot.
Okay, look, okay, like I am very connected to King Hoppington,
Are you
okay?
really?
I legitimately just like yeah, like over the weekend we did a 100 legendary poke bowl party so that I could
Right.
make extra money for everybody
Uh huh.
just so I could buy me another frog or two.
Uh huh.
Because so for those of y'all who have not bought King Hoppington's statue, I will recommend at least going to buy one because at
At
the end of
least,
this
yeah.
patch, he is going bye bye, and
Bye bye, right?
I'm very upset about it. I am really okay, okay. So
Go on.
this is where I was going about earlier when we were talking about temporary and permanent FOMO. Okay,
Okay, okay.
one, I hate the fact that the way they made it sound like he's going to be permanently gone. Okay,
Yeah.
now I will backtrack a little bit. I will say he was literally only put in as a joke because of everybody exploiting the frog bug. You know,
Of
and
course, of course.
so I love the fact that they were like, hee hee, ha ha, we're gonna laugh at our mistake, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I feel like the frog statue should stay because A, we need more money sinks in this game. The fact that it
That's
now
true.
costs the fact that it costs me 1 million gold to buy one frog statue at this point is
Yeah.
that's something I work for. It's like I know one girl in my stream,
Yeah, yeah.
she's trying to finish off and get 10 of them. She wants 10
Okay.
statues before he goes away,
Okay.
and she's on to like
Yeah, yeah.
7. So
Yeah, yeah.
she's there grinding the money right now. But I feel like
Sure.
it's a good money dump because the only thing I spend money on other than that is Zeki coins and maybe some more rocks from Kinley's shop. But other than that,
Yeah.
we don't have things to buy. We don't have expensive things to spend our money on for those of us who just grind the game all day because we got nothing better to do with our lives.
Right, right.
And
I
and
mean, we are still waiting for the husbandry to be a thing, and I'm not sure how much money it will cost us for that. So I'm just like literally saving up money on for this to see what they're going to be releasing
No,
soon enough.
100%. So
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying everybody needs to go buy like 5 or 6 King Hoppington statues, but
yeah.
you do at least want to get one before they go away.
Right, right, right.
But also like I feel like Sir Hoppington was like the first time in my experience that us players have basically changed up the lore to an extent of the game.
Right.
They literally put this in as like a ha ha he he to players,
Ha ha ha. Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the same time like they take it away, and you know what's to happen 5 or 6 years down the road, and somebody just starts playing Palia for the first time. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. If this game is going for another 5, 10 years, you know, I don't know how long this
Well,
game's
we
gonna
shall
be
see. We
going.
shall see.
You know,
I'm
I
hoping.
mean, I'm hoping too. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, and if it is going down the year, how cool would it be that I would be able to make like a YouTube video talking about Sir Hoppington and why he's there and that whole incident? But nowadays, the only time it would get brought up after this patch is if somebody just happens to see a frog statue on somebody else's plot, and then they're like, "Where do you get that?" And it's like, "Oh, that's no longer available anymore." You know,
I mean, it's
I
a story to tell, right? Especially
but
with Giga Frogbird when we used to get that, and there's a big giant Frogbird, but now that's gone. So
I know.
yeah, I get that.
I still miss that giant frog in Kilima, but going in, we knew that he was just a temporary thing. They were just kind of
Yeah,
testing some things, and they just put him
yeah,
out there for fun.
yeah,
But I feel like King Hoppington would have been a great way for people to learn about that years down the road because they just stumble upon this random frog statue in the
yeah,
middle of
yeah, yeah,
nowhere in Elderwoods. Because to be
yeah.
honest, until that frog statue appeared, I didn't even know that ramp was there myself. You know, I just never went to that corner of Killam or of the Elderwoods because I never
Elwood,
had a
yeah,
reason to, you
right,
know?
right, right,
And I
right.
just think it was one of those cool things that I am very sad to see him go. And I don't think they have a good enough reason to get rid of him. And I don't think they should get rid of him.
Like I do like putting honey lures there, so that's probably why they're getting rid of it.
There's plenty of places to put honey
I
lures.
know, but like I like that place too.
And plus,
It's like
like that
yeah,
ramp is awful for honey lures. Okay, at least that's for me.
kind.
I hate putting honey lures on a hill because I can't see everything on my screen. Like I play super zoomed out, my camera up
Oh
high. I do
yeah.
basically I look down on my character so I can see all around my character. And when you
Oh,
start
okay,
going
okay.
and when you go into like hills, like that's why I'm very particular about when I'm in Bahari and I'm doing like night lures in northern Bahari. I'm very particular about where I put my lures. I find me a nice big flat space. I'm not going to be like running up and down a hill to see if there's any loot up there, or whatever, or to see what the bugs I might have missed or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
with the way my camera goes, I like a good flat area anyways. So I place all my frog lures basically like a little bit further to the right, on that one like little ledge right at the edge of the building that
Oh,
you,
right
yeah,
there. Okay, yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
where I like my frog lures because it's a nice little confined area. I'm not running
It is.
around
It is.
everywhere.
Yeah.
My only big problem about it is sometimes the frogs glitch out under the ground over there.
Oh,
But
yeah. It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, I do like putting it on top of the hill though. I don't know. I like, and then it's just going down. Like it doesn't really escape. So you can
can you
just like
not can
throw
you
the
not
frogs.
put lures up there still? Like, does he get in the way of
You
you
can,
putting lures up there?
you can. But right now, Hoppington is in that area, and we can't really do that because you'll hit the G or the F button if you're trying to pick up stuff, and then you're interacting with King Hoppington over there.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I know one of my viewers hates the frog because she bought one statue and then went there another time to go sell some things and accidentally bought a second one. And ever since she accidentally bought the second one, she was so mad.
Got robbed.
But
Got robbed.
but still, that goes back to the thing of temporary FOMO versus permanent FOMO.
Of course, of
It's
course.
like there's this one frog decoration. It's like a mechanical frog. You see it on ENR's dock.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe that was a Twitch drop early on. I'm not 100% sure, but some people had that. And the fact that I've been playing for so long and I will never, ever have a chance to get that item again makes me really sad, because I didn't get it, and no matter how much I play, I
True.
can never get it.
Right, right,
So
right.
if they're going to take him away, I do want them to bring him back at some point, let him be there
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
like a month or two every spring or something so people can go frog hunting in the spring or something. I don't know. They can make a
I mean,
little they can make a little thing of it where they temporarily bring him back, but I don't want him to permanently go cuz I don't want that permanent FOMO.
some people will never experience a giant frog Brit in Kilma. Some people might not be able to experience this, but
But
I'm
yeah, but
wishing
don't
they could actually have this shop in like maybe like the central stables is what I'm trying to think here. But maybe and not in that particular area. Maybe in a different area. Like we know, I know why they put it in that area, but just for like memory's sake, they could bring it back and put it in a different area. Is what I'm trying to think here.
I
If they could.
mean, maybe like they could have definitely put him on that little edge where I go frog hunting since the frogs glitch over there, anyways. But still, it's just one of those things where I just feel bad for players who will start off next month and beyond because they'll never get a chance
Right.
to get it, and then
Yeah.
basically that whole incident will basically, for the most part, become forgotten lore. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody will
Yeah.
make a YouTube video on the Great Frog Gate of 2025 or whatever. But
Mm.
but for the most part, like there'll be no reason for people to be curious of being like, oh, what happened there, And that was the one thing I really liked because it was this ominous message of how people in the past used to sell his frogs here by the cartloads. And and just I think it was just like a really cool story he literally told. And I just thought he was just like
Mm-mm.
he was a really cool addition to the Elderwoods that I'm sad to see go.
No, he was,
You
and
know,
even if he was a character that didn't really wasn't really here for a very long time, it is sad to see him go. But I wish they would do more with having allowing shops or like something we could just sell our items to, and he was one of them. So I'm
oh
glad
yeah,
they added him in. But yeah, but now like who's gonna be the one that we could sell to now? Because Ani doesn't really go there that often, so
and
it's just a bit
that's
difficult
another
for us.
thing. He was a great
Yeah.
vendor in the middle of
Mm,
nowhere that
mm,
you could sell things to,
yeah. Yeah.
And and I think that was also a big thing. I sold a lot of things
It
to
was. Yep.
him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm down there frog hunting. I'm full. I'm like, oh well, before we drop the next lure, let me run up here and sell some things.
Salty. Right. Right.
You know,
I wish more things were like that, but no.
because because I don't want to, always keep bringing World of Warcraft up as
A reference.
examples and references,
Right.
but I know, like, there's a lot of times where I'll be in the middle of nowhere just exploring a zone and I'll just find some random vendor and then it'll be all the time when my bags are full and I'm like, oh my God, thank God this guy's here. I'm gonna sell my stuff to him. You
Yeah.
know? But
Right.
but we don't have a lot of those like random vendors because like every character currently in Palia has to have a storyline, you know?
Of course, of course.
So it's hard to introduce something to somebody to be a vendor for them to
Yeah.
basically just be a vendor, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
so I also think that's also a disservice for the Elder Woods, but it is what it is.
It
It's
is.
happening.
Yeah.
I'm done
Yeah.
crying over spilled milk and we can move on now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I brought up that point of view because I feel like that point of view is often not brought up
Um.
enough. So,
It's not, especially with running around like having a full inventory, and you just don't know where to sell to. You have to go back home, then go back out, then go back home. Like it's always repeating with that, and I kind of want a vendor that we can rely on, but to be selling stuff to or have access to if we need to go use the money or to be able to sell stuff to. So I would love that if they can implement that someday. But
right.
of course, right.
Also, through the course of fishing this week, I don't know, do you use any sort of lures when you fish?
Like, are we talking about like
The
using
hooks,
the
the
hooks?
hooks, the hooks,
Hooks,
yes.
okay. I use the Insta Catch one, which is not to make you say so, but it's basically where you use the hook and then you instantly get the fish for
Oh,
that.
okay. Because
Yeah,
I always use safe zone boosters myself because
yeah, yeah.
I like the bigger brackets. It makes it easier for me to catch the fish,
Of
especially
course,
some of
of
these more
course.
wild fish.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
due to the fact that we got new fishing plushies this week, and I needed to finish off my 100 moths for my 100 legendary cooking party this past
yeah,
weekend, I've done a lot of fishing. And me and
yeah.
my stream have noticed, and I don't know if like it's our imagination, but it really seems like it's actually legit. The hooks are not lasting as long.
No, they're not. No, they're
I'm
not.
going through hooks so much faster this past week. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
like a change that they didn't mention or if it's a bug or what, but I'm bleeding through hooks right now.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
cuz
I
like
don't think they mentioned it. No. I read all the patch notes for bugs and fixes and all that, and they have not mentioned this once.
so
So it's a bit unfortunate
I mean,
for this happening.
I went and put it in as a bug report
Yeah,
myself
yeah, yeah.
because like I don't know how many people do this, but when I go out fishing in the Elder Woods, basically I bring a stack of my main four food buffs minus Fisherman's Brew because I don't use Fisherman's Brew.
Of
But
course, everyone has to
and
have Fisherman's Brew,
then
right?
I always bring in four hooks with me because you can't just attach a hook from your bag and the hooks don't stack, which I want them to
Yeah,
stack in my
yeah.
inventory. But anyway, I'd always bring in about
Or
four.
if on the equipped, I prefer that as well.
Yeah.
If you can do that.
But
Oh, go on.
I would always bring four hooks with me, and basically I would start out pretty much shortly after 6 a.m. after I finished taking care of my garden and watering all my flow trees. I'd go
Yeah.
out to the Elderwood, and I'd literally fish till 6 a.m. the next day. And my
Mm,
four hooks, I would be on my last hook within that hour. So basically I'd
just
go through
in
about
one. Dang.
I'd go through four hooks. And so,
Wow.
but nowadays, like I'm literally going through four hooks in like half the time. Like my hooks, I've got to
Ooh.
bring in like to do like a big 24-hour or basically a one real life hour fishing
Yeah,
excursion that
yeah,
I
yeah,
do. I have to
yeah,
bring like six or seven hooks. I've got to bring in more hooks now because they're just
yeah.
not
Of
lasting
course.
as long. And so
Yeah.
it was one of those things. Literally, somebody in my stream was like, "Hey, did you notice this?" And I'm like, "No, that's not real." And then I started paying attention to it and actually paying attention to my time as I spent more
Yeah.
time fishing throughout the week. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is
Yeah.
legit. They don't
Yeah.
last as long as they used to. These things are
Yeah.
shorter."
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if it's through like the newer fish means equals it lasts like shorter, or they just literally just like made it shorter with the HP that has on those hooks.
I think
Or
the HP went down on the hooks because the
yeah,
fish are not given any more extra experience.
yes,
There
they're not. No,
and I figured that would be the only reason why I would be going through hooks be quicker because I believe that's on like experience base. Like the more experience a fish is, the more of the hook it's going to take away.
yeah,
No, I'm not one of those science testers that tests everything to a T and can keep up with all of these numbers. I'm just a casual player.
yeah, casual player.
I'm not on the math chord here,
Right,
but
right, right, right.
it definitely was a change that I've noticed in my gameplay this week and I'm very upset about. But it
No,
happened.
100%. Especially when you're trying to catch a lot of fish, you want all your hooks to be lasting a bit long. But it does. You can't really craft them either because you can only buy from Einar
Mhm.
to get them. I wish they would be able to give us like a way to craft them, but unfortunately they're not willing to.
100%
So
because like
yeah,
when people ask me they're like what is your number one fishing tip for like beginner fishermen, literally I tell them I'm like once you buy all of the decorations you want with ENR, use your extra
yeah,
fishing tokens and buy the safe zone boosters. The safe zone
mm,
boosters is so good for people who are not that skilled in fish and have trouble with the fishing mini game
right.
because it increases the percent brackets that you can keep the fish into.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I hate the fact that we can't craft them. I mean, I have like 100 sitting in my inventory because I just cashed out because I was
Yeah,
capped out on fishing coins. So I was like, let me go cash out here before these new plushies come out. So
right,
I
right.
I ended up with like 120 in my storage, and I'm always giving them out to people on stream. But but I'm
Ah,
always like, get this hook, and you can only buy it with the fishing coins because we can't craft them. We can craft two other hooks, but not the hook I need, not the hook I want. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad about it because it gives me a reason to spend my tokens. But at the same time, it would be nice to be able to craft them myself.
It would be nice, 100%. And I wish it didn't. It did. We didn't have to keep buying them. It's. I think we could be using them for something else, but in the meantime, if they're not putting stuff into the guild stores, I'm hoping they would be able to like be more lenient on just us just having them like on more easier way than just buying them. Than use our guild tokens to buy them.
But hey, we did get some really good improvements and adjustments though with this patch.
Yeah, 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 we did though.
Like for instance, the infinite quest bag. So,
Yes, of course.
I don't know how many people who have filled up their quest bags with getting torches from Sifu during the Flame Temple. Because you could
I
literally,
remember that.
you could
Yeah, yeah,
loot the torches over and over, and you ended up with like
yeah,
so many torches in your quest bag, and you're like, oh, my
yeah,
quest bag's full. So
yeah,
we now have unlimited space in the quest bag. So
yeah,
if
yeah.
you get any bugs, any quest item bugs, it's fine because you got plenty more room in that bag.
I'm just wondering, like, did, would that stop players from actually like proceeding with the quest if we're able?
I want to say like if you had a full quest log bag, you could not get any new quest items. So people were actually having to contact
Oh,
Singularity 6, and I believe
right.
they had to go through and like delete some stuff from individual players like
Right.
quest bags. I'm not sure
I
how
would
that worked.
assume. Yeah, I would
I
assume.
never had that issue thankfully, but I have heard of people
I,
having issues like that. So
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I do have a couple of duplicated quest items that are just
I
sitting at
do.
the top
Yeah.
of the bag. I think I've got like 2 rows full. So, as I
I
said,
think the worst one we've encountered was that locket. That if we hunt a Ogapu when Elwood was the thing, we will get this locket, and then once we picked up like each Ogapu loot, we would instantly get this locket every single time. And I'm like, are you guys having this glitch? Wait, it's
thankfully,
not as
thankfully, I
what?
never got any more than one of the lockets for the quest. So
Really? Oh
I never got a duplicate
man.
one of them. But I
Oh
do have like a duplicate robot foot in my bag, in my quest log bag. And
Oh
then
yeah, I
of
got one
course,
of those. Yeah.
and then you got all of those extra books and whatnot that you might want to go back and reread. So
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
I do like the fact that those quest log books, you can still keep and still go back to
Keep it
reread
there.
and enjoy.
Right.
And
And
then what?
and then one I would say, like, even with the grocery list and all that, like there's the list is still on my thing. It's always nice to see the accomplishments of all the quests that you've done. Like, I wish that we can keep some of them, but unfortunately, you have to turn the quest and then basically complete it. But I wish there was a way we could actually like see like what we did during this quest, um, and see the quest item that we got as well. I would much prefer that. Just keep on the storyline if they were to bring that back for that quest, but unfortunately that's not the case.
Right. Well,
So
like for instance, with a lot of like the books and like the log books and such we get, I would love the ability to be able to like get once we're done with the quest or whatever, like we could
yeah.
place that book in our house. And then you could go up to the book
Oh
and interact with it and read it. Like I know there is a log book you
yeah.
got in the Elder Woods, or like Prismbeard's book, that you had to read.
Right.
I'd love for
Yeah.
to be able to put
100%.
I'd love to put that book in a library in my house and I could go read it
Especially
anytime. I think that
actually,
would be
which
cool.
we had to interact with the prison beard. I was thinking like, oh, we can go back to the things that I said before, and it will reply the same type of thing. And it may be a bit annoying, but I think like for those who like want it out and also want to interact with it, I think that'd be like good nostalgia. Like, oh, what did this statue say? Like, you only said it once, and that's it. Like, you don't
Right?
see what he said anymore. Like, what?
Right. You literally, those statues are now permanently in my game and I just have to
Yeah,
ignore them from here on out. Like,
exactly, right?
that's my, like, we might eventually go into deep detail on the Prison Beards quest, but yeah, it's like I have an item that I can now permanently see them because it's like a quest item in your
Yeah,
inventory
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
you can't interact with them anymore. I'm like, at least let me go back and, as you said, like reread what it says.
Right,
I think that would
but
be great. And it would be great
yeah,
to remind people of the lore.
right, right. Of course, of course.
But yeah,
Ooh,
so
a
I'll
prison beard. Ooh, episode. Ooh, that'd be nice.
right. And then
Okay.
we also got another great improvement, the bundle improvement, where basically you have a little icon above anything that is
Yeah,
needed for a bundle. It
yeah.
gets its own
I
special icon.
I hated the fact that I always have to go back to it just to see like what I need. But that little icon does help a lot, and I deeply appreciate S6 for implementing that in. Uh, I always have to look up like either go online, look up a guide, or look up like a sheet that's like, okay, you need this, you need that, but like you don't need that anymore. You can just literally kind of remember, but then like it'll show up on what you actually need for that.
Right. Agreed. As I said, I think
Mm.
it's especially when they introduce now these monthly bundles and you get back home and you're like, which flower was it that I needed to donate? Oh, wait, it's the one with this little icon. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's such a great improvement into the game, and it's definitely a slice of life feature that I'm glad they implemented.
Exactly, 100%. And I wish it would like if we don't clearly know what we're missing out of the bundle, maybe we could just type in the search bar bundle to see like what quest we're meeting. Like, if they could categorize that into one thing in our like storage, we type in bundle and then it'll show up like the items that we actually need for it. That'd be great.
Oh,
Please.
that would be really cool too,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Especially
yeah.
since they're doing a thing where we're basically going to be as far as we know getting new bundles every month to do, you know.
Mm,
Which,
yeah.
which I'm fine for monthly quests like that.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, yeah.
I as I said, I like the idea that they finally put in the bulletin board and they got a good work for it. They found a good idea for it. So
Go on to 100%.
I
Yeah.
would I would definitely like the ability to search up bundles. I think that would make things a lot easier, especially since the bundles will be
100%.
changing every month.
Right. And
So,
especially if there's like a furniture like they did with this one, they could do that on the workbench as well. Like, okay, you need this for the bundle, and need that. Like, they might have to do a bit of like upgrading with their search bar, but the search bar was a great thing, and I'm glad they implemented it. But if they could work on it a bit more for just the bundles or like type of quests, I would love that a lot more as well.
right. So
Mm.
I don't know how much you want to talk about like the paid shop stuff because obviously,
Yeah, we can do that.
we're
I don't mind that.
yeah, as I said, I know we're here more talking about like the gameplay patch updates, but I do want
Yeah,
to say they released a new underwater landscape,
yeah. Yes.
which one of my viewers got me because she was like, "You have to have it," because I have a plot that I'm literally just
All
putting
fish.
all fish plushies,
Right. Right.
and I will say I wouldn't be mad if we eventually got like an underwater zone that we would be able to run around on. Like it'd be work like you're on the ground just inside the
Right. Right.
water
Right.
because they made that background, that landscape look so good. I love the
Yeah.
water effect. Now I do know the water effect does give some people like eye strains and it does mess with people's eyes. So
Yeah.
I would feel like if they ever did an underwater zone, they'd definitely have to be able to toggle that feature on and off for those who have issues with it.
Right. Right.
But I just want to say, like, it is a gorgeous landscape, and
It is.
I now kind of want an underwater paleozone. I
And
w-
for the underwater paleo zone, would you want the landscape and also that zone to be able to swim in there?
well, that's the thing. Like, I've been running around like the landscape since I have it, and I obviously wanted to try it out. I actually did a tour
Mm.
video. I do because I always do tour videos on YouTube of all the new landscapes,
Mm-hmm. Of
so that people can see if they like it or not, and they can see it on the
course.
the Switch graphics to see how it would look on the Switch and see if it's
Right.
a plot that a landscape they'll want to buy, and so I always do a lot of running around and exploring. And to be honest, like if they did an underwater zone, I wouldn't be mad if we didn't swim. If it literally just
Right.
ground based physics, you run around on the ground, it's just under the water, you know? I mean, because we
Oh,
already can't swim currently in
right.
Palia, and I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
at the point that I'm like, ooh, I want to be able to swim. I mean,
Right.
they did add that to Animal Crossing, and then you're able to like dive down to get like undersea creatures as a new way to capture creatures in Animal Crossing. But I feel like
Right.
you wouldn't be able to do something like that in Paleo because people would actually want to swim under the water,
Of
and
course, of course.
underwater mechanics never work good in my opinion. Like
Uh,
with the 3D axis, like I don't want to be up above a creature like kind of like floating in the water trying to shoot them. Like
right.
I feel like with the way Palea plays, it would be one where we just can't swim. We just sink.
Right.
We get a
Right.
spell put on us that allows us to breathe underwater. We get a little bubble around our head or something in the zone.
Yeah.
And you run around on the ground and you climb up the ocean walls and the ocean floor and you just get to
Yeah.
explore an undersea zone. I
Mm.
would say with that new landscape, I wouldn't be mad at something like that.
Right.
I just
And I think one thing I really like about the underwater is that it does show the potential of what the game could do, right? It could be like just be like a little teaser, just be like, oh hey, it's an underwater thing, but you never know in the future that they might actually create an actual like a map for this type of environment for the next either creatures or like NPCs or like other stuff they could be bringing into the game. You never know, right? So
100%.
yeah,
Like,
um,
because it's just like I know we could probably just do a whole episode talking about all the different potential zones just from all the landscapes we've got.
yeah, yeah,
Like the landscapes is such a good idea of like for instance the Aurora Peaks landscape, the snowy one with the
yeah.
Aurora
Sorry, where
Borealis. I would
right,
love to explore that zone because that zone, as from based on the background, because I don't know how many people look in the background of the landscapes, but
Mm-hmm.
I particularly, when I get a new landscape, the first thing I look for is that mountain that's got the chunk taken out of it.
Right.
Because if you notice in the background of Kilima and Bahari, there is a mountain to the north, and there's a
Right.
big chunk taken out of it, like a comet went through it, or something, or an
Yeah.
explosion happened. I
Yeah.
don't know, but that has been one of the biggest things in Palea. I wanna be able to explore that mountain, and I want to be able to explore that area that's got a big chunk out of it. I want to go there, and I want to do it. Like that's what I'm looking forward most in the future zones in Palea. But I
Yeah.
notice on like the Aurora Peaks, you're right near that mountain peak. So
You
I
are.
want to
Yeah.
say that landscape is like way up there on that mountain. And so I definitely encourage those who have landscapes to kind of like look at the background to see. I try because I always try to pin out where it is on the map based on where the location of that mountain is. Because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
mountain's the
Yeah.
only like identifiable thing on a zone. And
Oh,
it's
sure.
so I literally I'm like, okay, so this one's a little bit here, this is a little bit here. I'd love to eventually like I would love for Paleo to release a big map of the world whenever they
I would love it.
whenever
Yeah.
they finish discovering all of the world. I'd love to
Yeah.
see how all the zones like are interconnected with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so as I
Well,
said, we could definitely do a whole like episode topic on future zones to explore. So
sure. Of course, definitely. I wouldn't mind that at all, and we can explore more about it on a future podcast if you want to go more deep into that.
absolutely. I just wanted to throw that out there since the landscape was new on here. I wanted to just basically say I love it and I want it to be a zone.
Of course.
And then I love my
100%.
and then I love my fat cat, my chunky cat.
Oh, did you notice on the like how it's holding the umbrella?
I love
That
I love my
that
neighbor Toro,
my
so
Totoro. Yeah,
I
that was
mean
supposed to do that.
I love all of his movies.
Yeah, Studio
So
Ghibli. Yeah, Studio Ghibli.
so the fact that they did that reference, and then like, because at first
Mhm.
when I saw the teaser trailer, I was like, oh, it's the reference to it. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And then when
yeah.
I saw that heckin' chunker of a pal cat just walking behind you, I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I need this pet. Like, it's literally the
Awesome.
fattest pal cat ever, and
It
I
is.
want it. I'm like,
I love it.
I never thought I would be like in Palea being like, I want that fat cat, but I want that fat cat.
It's not Garfield, but
I know, but it's just like because I saw one of my friends who got it, and they're just walking around with it behind them, and I was like, oh, it just walks around on four legs like a regular cat. He's
yeah, it
just
does. Yeah,
fat. I
it's
thought I thought I thought it was gonna walk around on two legs, and then when
yeah,
you AFK'd long enough, he kind of like pulled out his umbrella and it started raining. Like the AFK thing, because
yeah,
all
yeah.
pets have their AFK action.
It is. Yeah.
But I
And
was
sometimes they also rolls on its belly, rolls on its back, and then
right.
shows you its belly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just was not expecting it to like just hop onto all floors and just start walking. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's so cute.
Yeah. No, definitely, 100%. And I do love all the pets that they are introducing, though. But they do need to get rid of the hitbox if they can, so we can just show it off each time. But unfortunately, when it comes to like parties wise, I always have to put my pen away. So it's
Like
unfortunate.
I have people who keep mentioning that. What do you mean by a hitbox? Because like
So
pets never bother me when I'm doing anything. I just get to
really,
yeah.
oh
Like I don't like they don't actually like if I'm throwing a bug bomb.
yeah,
The only way they mess me up is that stupid cat with the orange hat. And
yeah,
I keep thinking it's a bug or a choppa. And
yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
yeah,
me hitting something else, I hit
yeah.
it because I'm aiming for it. But
Right.
everybody's like, oh, you got to take away your bug because take away your pet when we're catching bugs because it does a hitbox. I actually don't have that
Yeah.
bug. I don't have that
What?
issue.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
it does not bother me
Oh,
in my game. I thought everybody was just mad because, like, for instance, everybody got that bee that follows
no,
them, and
no.
I'm always trying to throw a bug bomb at that bee, and
Yeah,
I'm like, that must be what they're talking about. And then over the weekend, like, I saw a discussion about it on,
yeah,
I think in one of the Facebook groups I'm in,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I heard them discussing about it having a hitbox, and I'm like, that's wild. I don't have a
yeah,
hitbox for my pets. Like, it doesn't affect me on my Switch. I just aim for the bug because I think it's a real bug.
yeah, yeah.
And that's where I have the problem is everybody with these bees flying around, I think they're a legit bee and I'm trying to capture their own pet. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's a pet. And
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
but it doesn't actually like mess up my gameplay. So,
I mean, with a PC, I'm not sure if console players experience this, but if you throw a bomb or hit an arrow with some sped out, and you think that's like an animal that's a huntable, it would just literally eat or block your arrow or bug bomb.
yeah, see,
So
I
if
haven't
you're
added,
trying,
sorry, go on.
and so if you're trying to catch like a very very rare bug, and then it blocks or eats your bomb or your or hunting your animal like for your arrows, then it's kind of a sad thing because if there's a bunch of if there's a huge group and you didn't hit the animal or the bug, then yeah, it kind of sucks that you missed out on the loot. So it could be a plushie there that you could have gotten, but you didn't because the pet was blocking the way. So it's a bit unfortunate. Like our brain acts like, oh, this is a bug that we that's in the wild. No, it's not. It's someone else's pet.
Right. And that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like the only way I see it personally for me that it eats my ammunition is if I'm aiming for it. I'm never aiming at anything behind it. So it's not like
yeah,
it like
yeah.
blocks anything for me. And that's the way like everybody was making it sound to be. Now, as I said, I don't have this issue, so I don't know if that's what they're describing or if they're describing my issue where I just keep getting fooled thinking it's a wild bug and it's not, and that's why it's wasting my
Yeah.
ammo. But my ammunition kind of goes through the pet, so if there was
What?
something on the other side, it's not an
Uh,
issue.
it just stops dead in our tracks where
You
like
know, I'm just aiming for the pet and there's generally nothing behind it anyway, so it's not
yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
missing out on anything. I'm just getting confused on what's a pet and what's not a pet, you know? But
100%.
you know, as I said, you know, all the different and that's the thing, like you could both be on the same console and you could have a bug that somebody else doesn't have, you know? Like
Right.
I'll go through and I'll read the patch notes and try to find a lot of the switch fixes, and some of the switch fixes I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was an issue. I didn't have that issue."
Well, you're
So,
lucky for that. For PC,
or I have this issue and nobody else seems to have this issue, you know?
yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
So,
Like I know with console players they have a special feature that you can see if people are on like console and see what they're playing on.
oh yeah,
We don't
PC
have that
people.
feature on PC.
I was gonna
On
say,
PC,
wait, you mean PC people have that?
no, we don't.
Because I don't have that on the Switch. That's not a
Yeah,
Switch
but apparently
feature.
console players are able to see what
Xbox
other
and
people's devices.
PlayStation
Yeah,
players. Let's be
consoles. Right,
specific.
right.
As I'll say, because Switch is included in that console, and I don't have that on the Switch. I
Oh
don't ever.
wait.
Because
Oh my bad.
I've seen people post pictures of like the icons, and I'm like, oh, I wish we had that on the Switch.
Yeah, I wish you had
Freaking,
that.
freaking PC players get everything. I thought that
No,
was a PC thing.
no, it's a PlayStation or Xbox series on that.
Ugh.
And I'm like, how come I can't see it with everyone else?
You
What
know,
is this?
like I feel like the moment we get a Switch 2 update, I think that'll be available on the Switch too.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
But at the moment, Switch and Switch 2 basically have this. They basically what they did when the Switch 2 came out was they just basically took the Switch files and ported it onto the Switch 2. That's basically all
Right.
they did. So it's like
Ooh, okay.
the graphics are the same as the Switch.
Right.
Everything, you know, nothing is I mean, everything runs smoother on the Switch too, but they're
Right.
not. But I don't get extra flower decorations or, you know,
No.
floral in the world or that added
Right.
little chat in the chat box, you know. So I'm really waiting for the Switch 2 functionality for it to get its own patch, especially since the Switch 2 has a built-in, because I don't know if you know this, but the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2, you can actually put it on its side and use it like a mouse.
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
I
what?
know. It's a Switch
What?
2 feature. I know.
I
It's
did not know that.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things because I think they're actually releasing Mario Paint on the Switch too. If it's not already out for the Virtual
Mario
Console,
Paint is gonna be a
I
thing
think it's
still.
called. Yeah, they're. I mean, Mario Paint's always been a thing, but
I mean, it's been so long though.
well, I know,
I
but
haven't heard about it till now again.
that's what they do. That's what they do on the Switch is they bring in a lot of. They have these virtual consoles where they bring in games from older consoles, and
Right.
now that the Switch 2 Joy-Con can basically run like a mouse, they're bringing Mario Paint in to basically show off the mouse functionality of the game or of the console. And I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
love for them to be able to be it to where I could like put my controller into like mouse mode and be able to use it like a mouse
Oh,
in Palia. I think that would be really
oh,
cool. As I said,
that'd be nice.
I'm waiting for the Switch 2 to get its proper update. Will it ever get one? Maybe when the
Who
Switch
knows?
becomes obsolete.
Right.
But because I know us Switch, we were definitely struggling this past week.
Uh,
Basically, 100% like I could not play docked. I had to play in handheld all weekend, all last week.
dang.
Or otherwise I got like because like if I was playing docked, I would teleport to the Elderwoods, I'd get instantly disconnected. 100%
Ooh.
every time.
Right.
But if I played in handheld mode, no lag, no issues, nothing. You know, so it was
Mm,
kind of weird that it was bugged that it was bugged in the dock station, but that was a fun bug I had to work on this weekend, but I didn't really have enough power anyway, so all of my streams are what I call low power streams, where I basically take my Switch in handheld mode and I stream from my phone and I basically record from my phone onto the screen. So it's like the gameplay is not the greatest looking, but you still get to hang out with me and still get to do
of
stuff.
course.
And I
Of
still get to
course.
play the game with everybody. So it's a little less I call it my low power, low quality streams. But
Yeah.
you know, but
I mean,
it actually benefited me this whole week since I didn't have power because I had to play in this mode anyways, just so I didn't lag out all the time.
fair, fair, fair. I mean, I've also noticed two bugs that were introduced into this patch, which is one: if you were to server sync into someone, you won't be in the same spot. You'll be a completely different spot somewhere else, which makes it very, very weird. I'm like, oh, I'm in the central stables. Now I'm at the docks. I'm like, wait, I wasn't here before. What? So
Yeah,
that's a bit weird.
it was but I think that was because everybody just kept server hopping all weekend where the Kilima Flower
Yeah,
event. It was like
yeah,
messing up the
yeah,
server hopping thing, and they just kind of messed up on it. So that was
yeah.
definitely wild server hopping in Kilima to get all the flower events. Just to be like, where will I load in this
This
time?
time, right? Exactly, 100%. And another thing is that I'm noticing that our watering can isn't getting losing durability while we're watering. So I think that's a huge plus. But of course, I think they may have to patch that, like for them to lose a bit of like more durability with that. So I don't
Agreed.
know. Yeah, it's okay though. It's not really a huge bug, but yeah, it's fun though. It's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've been going at this for a bit now. So I
Right.
believe
Right.
it's time for Shinori's question of the week.
Week. Okay, we're getting okay. So me and K Fears, I was talking about this to K Fears, and K Fears has agreed that we should do a question of the week at the end of at the end of every podcast to ask you guys like to get you guys more engaged, and also be commenting down there on what you would think the proper answer would be to each question for the week. So, today's question would be, what are you looking forward to the next patch? Since we've experienced all of this, what would you want to experience the most about it for the next one? It could be about bug fixes. It could be about the new things that you might think might happen, or things you might see in the future. Let us know. I'm
Yeah.
hoping for the husbandry, because we are so looking forward to that. But I know they're in the works, and hopefully they'll get that up and running soon enough. I know many people will come back being like, "Oh my God, farm animals! We would love this, and we want to play this, and it'll be a huge thing." But I'm hoping they do it correctly, and they will be able to have it where we can also decorate while having them as well. What about you, K Fears? What are you excited about the next few updates?
I mean, I think that's pretty much what I'm most excited for is most definitely animal husbandry. And because we know we're going to be getting a big housing update, but that's probably not going to be till later on this year. So just thinking of what would probably come out in the next patch, like I'm really hoping for animal husbandry. That's what I'm here for. I want to take care of my little peckies. I want my big old Ormu that I can put a big bow on. Like, but yeah, let us know down in the comments on Spotify or on YouTube. What are you guys hoping to come out of the next patch? So
Yeah, 100%. And
let
we'll be reading it, and we'll be giving you the thumbs up if we can. And hopefully you'll be excited just as we are for the next update as well.
right. So I guess that'll be it for us today. Make sure to follow us on Twitch and YouTube at K Fierce Scene, and make sure to give the podcast here a follow and a thumbs up and everything else.
Of course, and please go follow me on Twitch, on Blue Sky, and also on Facebook if you do use any of that. I am trying to be more active on it, but of course it's going to be time to get used to all that. So please go give us a follow on each of our social media. We would deeply appreciate it. Also, if you want to hang out with us, give us a follow on Twitch if you want to or not. But but also come and hang out with us as well. You don't have to chat that much. We would just appreciate you for being there, but we would deeply appreciate it as well.
And until next time, we'll see
Next
you
time,
guys later.
bye.
Bye.